I'm Michelle Peterie. I'm a research fellow in sociology at the Sydney Centre for Healthy Societies at the University of Sydney. And I'm the author of this new book, Visiting Immigration Detention, Care and Cruelty in Australia's Asylum Seeker Prisons. The book offers a new and a unique perspective on the human costs of immigration detention by telling the stories of the people who enter these facilities as private visitors and whose lives are often profoundly changed by what they witness and experience there. The book draws on more than 70 in-depth interviews conducted over 5 years with detainees, friends and loved ones and supporters right around Australia. In combining these visitor testimonies with statements from people who are personally in detention, as well as information secured through archival research and freedom of information requests, the book illuminates the direct and the collateral harm that this system imposes. Visiting Immigration Detention really makes 3 main contributions to the existing scholarship on immigration detention. First, it provides a quite rare qualitative account of how harm is enacted through carceral practices in Australia's onshore detention centres. It exposes the shifting systems of deprivation and frustration that dictate life in these facilities and shows how they corrode health, hope and relationships and assert a debilitating asymmetry of power. Rules are regularly changed and erratically enforced, and micro-level controls function to infantilize and to disempower. The book also interrogates cruder technologies like the practice of forcibly relocating detainees between interstate detention facilities and away from networks of resistance and support. In documenting these various interlocking practices, the book paints a detailed picture of immigration detention facilities as prison-like environments in which detainees and visitors alike are made to feel their vulnerability in the small and the large details of institutional life. Second, the book adds to existing understandings of who is harmed by detention regimes. A wealth of evidence already exists concerning the devastating impacts of detention for people who are personally incarcerated. Building on this body of research, this book highlights the unacknowledged harm that detention also imposes beyond the detainee, with a focus on the experience and the impacts of detention visitation specifically. Detention centre visitors are both witnesses to and targets of institutional violence. Notwithstanding the benefits that many visitors derive from their centre relationships, the detention visitation experience is largely characterised by feelings of powerlessness and ontological disruption that at times feed into visitor attrition and compound the isolation and the desperation of detention environments. In documenting and teasing out these various aspects of the visitor experience, the book also critically examines the emotional politics of solidarity within detention and illuminates the potentials, but also some of the pitfalls of care as a form of political resistance. And it maps the complexities of power and privilege within detention relationships. Finally, in locating visitor testimonies within Australia's overarching program of asylum seeker deterrence, the book makes a theoretical claim concerning why harmful practices endure and replicate in detention environments. Researchers and human rights organisations at times frame the adverse impacts of detention as government failures or unintended oversights. This book really offers an alternative diagnosis. It argues that the reverberating harm detention imposes are not a failure of this system, but rather evidence of the system's essentially malign function. To put it plainly, cruelty is the point. I hope that you will read this book and find it illuminating. It's written in a scholarly, but I hope a very accessible style, so as to reach readers both within and outside of academia. And it's available in ebook, paperback or hardback versions. So please do consider ordering a copy for yourself or for your library. Thanks very much.